What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, me and Shelby is out here in the shop bus, and I don't know what he's doing. He's running around here. What are you, Shelby? What are you doing? He's just sniffing everything. He hasn't been out here in a while, so I don't know if I showed the inside of this thing. I can spin the camera around and kind of show you what we did here. So this is actually a bus that I purchased. You can kind of see the other one there for parts for that bus, because this one doesn't have an engine or transmission in it. So decided to basically turn this into like a storage shed, but then I was like, well, hey, it'd make a pretty good workshop. So that's kind of what I did. Well, I'll turn the camera on and show you that, and then I'll show you the other reason for the video. So yeah. So for temporary purposes, I just kind of built this little wood door here just to kind of keep the critters out. It works, you know. And then up front, I ended up using the windshed out of this bus for that bus. So when I pulled the ceiling panels down out of the other bus, it fit perfectly across the front. So it isn't sealed 100% yet, but hey. And yeah, it's pretty much a place to put all my junk. So got some shelves in here. I put some lights up just for being able to come out here and find what I need. Me and my son play with these Nitro trucks, so that's what he's, I think, the most upset about, is these things drive him absolutely crazy. I don't know what it is about these trucks, but he cannot stand them. And here's the purpose for the video today, is the new diesel heater we got. So I took and did a video, me and Mike did, that would be the last video we put up, of his V4 8 kilowatt diesel heater. And I decided to get me one. Well, when I went to the link that we provided on the other video, it was not available. So what I decided to do was kind of look around, and I found some reviews on this one. They all seem to be pretty good. So I said, well, hey, let's see if we can get this one. So that's what I did. Okay, so real quick, the other reason for this video too is I actually did an unboxing on this heater last night with my son. And I'm kind of new to the whole YouTube thing, so I didn't realize I was doing it until after I kind of went back to like edit the video and realized I was going and ah after everything I was saying. I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to get better at that. It's kind of awkward talking to a camera without somebody being here, or even being out in public, talking around and walking around talking to my camera and people staring at me and stuff. So I'm getting better at it. I'm trying. So guys, bear with me on that. And we'll try to get back into the heater here. So as I tell you guys a little bit about this heater, I'll put some of the footage up maybe in the corner somewhere and tell you some specifications, and you can kind of see where we pulled out of the box and what comes in the box. One of the things that I will say that I fought with last night was actually putting the exhaust on. So this is just a little flexible hose that it comes with, and as you can see, running it for a little bit that we did last night actually caused it to change color. It did smoke a little bit last night when we first started it up, but I think it was really condensation. I didn't really notice any real heavy diesel smell out of it. I will say this though, while, if I can zoom in, that right there, that little clamp does have a place for a Phillips head or a flathead. When I tightened this thing down with a flathead screwdriver, I got it as tight as I could by hand, and you could still pull the exhaust off. So I don't know if that's something you're supposed to do, is like crush the exhaust down onto that. Anyway, I went ahead and got a socket, ratchet, and a little extension, and found that a 7mm does fit this. Cranked it down, and now it's on there nice and tight. I do plan on leaving the exhaust on it because we got our little camping trailer there, and that's what we mostly carry our camping gear on. So I'm thinking about maybe somehow mounting this permanently on there, because this is mostly going to be for the tent. So future video, this little thing here is going to be, I'm going to figure out a way to attach this to the side of the heater and hook up a Milwaukee battery to it. I haven't figured out how to do it yet. I've been watching some videos, but essentially you can put this on the side of the heater whether you use sticky tape, or it does have some mounting holes in it. So the idea was that I could put the battery on it and make it a true portable setup, because if you don't have that way of powering it, which it does come with let's see, what is it right here? So this is their like 12 volt supply. So you can put a cigarette lighter end on this, or you can hook it right directly to a battery. Also, let's get over here real quick. There's your 110. So it takes 110 and converts it over to 12 volts. So it does have that option. Anyway, to make it a full portable setup without having to have a power bank or having to plug it into the wall, I was going to try the battery and just see how long it lasts on it. I mean, if I can get like an 8.0 battery or a 12 amp hour battery and make this thing run all night on a battery and then charge it up during the day via either that or a solar panel setup, I think that's what we're going to do, just to try to minimize all the stuff that we're carrying. So yeah, let me show you this heater. Okay, so of course you can see it's the Wippro brand. This is an all-in-one diesel heater, so there's two different types of these all-in-ones. You've got the ones that are kind of like shorter, a little wider. So the burner sits here and the fuel tank sits here. They do have a couple of different ones where the fuel tank actually sits on top of the burner, so it's about this wide and it's taller. The only thing I was concerned with those is maybe like, tip over. I guess if you're not going to be using it like we use it, like running up and down the roads and using it on a trailer and stuff like that for a 10, it probably would be okay. Here's your display. Fuel cap, I've already added some diesel fuel to it. So, and it is a vented cap. Put that back on. Of course, we went over the exhaust with the muffler or silencer. It's 8 liters, 8 kilowatt, which would be, I think when I checked it or looked it up, it was like 27,000 BTUs. And there again, it can run on 12, 24, 120 volts, which would be the 120 converted down to 12 volts. It has some pretty good handles. You can actually hear them click in, and they're pretty robust. I wouldn't say industrial strength, but they're pretty tough looking. And this is the back of it. So here's your 110 input, and then you got these lugs here, which would screw out, and then you would put your eyelet on it, and then hook your 12 volt power supply in. So that's pretty much it. So what I'll do now is plug this in, fire it up, let you guys hear how loud it is. And I do have a thermometer here, so the indoor temp and then the outdoor temp. So we're going to let it run for a little bit and just see how warm it actually gets this little bus shop that I have. So let's try it out. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get this thing plugged in. Alright, and then so we're at 92%. Go ahead and click on the AC power. Our screen come on. And before we power this up real quick too, I've got to run the exhaust out the window, so let me do that real quick. Alright, so I do have the exhaust run out. And the other thing too is it does come with a remote, so that you can turn it on and off, and plus or minus, so you can obviously turn it up or down. And then the other thing it came with was a installation manual, or what they call an installation manual. There's some info in here, but I gotta say there's a lot left to be desired with this. So it does exactly what I expected it to do, and maybe be a good fire starter. Anyway, let's get this thing turned on, let you guys hear how loud it is, and I guess we'll just try it with the remote here and see what it does. Alright, so it's on. If you look in here, this little red spot, that shows the igniter or the glow plug heating up. And I'll keep an eye on this to see how many volts this or watts this goes up to before it starts up. So, of course, diesel heaters are going to use the most power that they're going to use initially during startup, because that's when they get, they're trying to heat up the glow plug to get the flame going. So we'll let this go for a minute. We'll see what the maximum is. Okay, so we've got the fuel pump just kicked in. I've seen a total wattage output so far. There's 118. You can kind of hear it starting to ramp up. It is pushing some air out. No smoke coming out of the exhaust, which I know the windows on the bus are dirty from where it sits out here. So I have noticed that some heaters do smoke. So Mike's did when we first cranked it up because we did through a priming procedure. This heater here actually didn't have to be primed. It does all that on its own. You just put the fuel in it for the first initial time and turn it on. Now we'll say it takes anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes for these things to get fired up and going. Last night when we ran it, it did have a little smell to it, but I'm assuming that was what it was, burning off. Alright, so there it goes. Now we've dropped down to 30 to 40 watts or so. And I will say you guys can probably hear the clicking in the camera, and I'm using an external microphone, so it's like super sensitive. So the clicking you're hearing is the fuel pump. I'm sure it probably sounds louder on camera than it actually is. Alright, we're starting to get some heat. So I'm going to let this thing get ramped up all the way, and I'll bring you back here in just a minute. Alright guys, so she's on the lowest setting right now and got a good amount of heat coming out. This one has a little, I don't want to say vibration, because it doesn't really feel like it. Well, maybe it does a little bit, but did some research into it, and that's the combustion chamber. So that's where it's actually burning the diesel fuel, making a little noise. So I'm going to turn it up here in just a second and see what see if the noise changes, because it's got just this little slight rumble to it, which almost is as loud as the clicking from the fuel pump. So let's try to ramp it up just a little bit here. So that's 2, and that's level 3, and it goes to level 10. So you hear the fuel pump clicks get a little faster. And I don't know if you'll be able to hear that vibration, but it does sound like it goes away. Well, there's some really, really good heat out of that. And I can feel it as far back as a good 3 or 4 foot. Alright, and I'll get some dimensions for you guys, because some people like to have that information. So that 10 and just over 10 and 3/4 from the bottom of the bench up is about 10 and a half. So 10 and a half tall. And then let's see what it is lengthwise here. You guys can see that, but that is right about 14, just under 14. So that's the dimensions on it, if you're interested. And I will also, at the end of the video, I will leave a little black screen up and put all the information in there, so you guys can pause that and go through it and see if it's something you guys might be interested in. Okay, so I did turn it up to level 10. So we got quite a bit of, it's ramping up still. Got quite a bit of heat. I'm about, I'll say about 2 foot away. And if I hold my hand here, that's almost uncomfortable. It almost gets hot so yeah. So it's putting out some good air. So we're gonna let it run on high for a little while. I'm sure you guys can hear that really good now. Wow. Sounds like a little turbo sitting here on the shelf. And It's 60 degrees in here right now, and the outdoor temp is 51. So we'll let it run for about 30 minutes on high and see how long it takes for it to, if it does, bring up the temperature any. Alright guys, it's been about 20 minutes or so. I figured I'd come back in and just see, noticeably warmer in here. The temp did go up 1 degree outside, but as you can see, indoor temp, and then of course being up here towards the top, it's definitely warmer up here. So I have to say this thing works really well. I did turn it back down on 3, so after about 20 minutes it brought it up to, brought it up about 10 degrees. It's pretty good. Now, I'm not saying it's going to do that great when it's 30 degrees outside, because like I said, this is a pretty good sized bus to heat up, and it's not very well insulated. There is some insulation here and down here under the windows, but windows are definitely cold to the touch, so there's going to be a lot of heat loss there. Now I could come in here and basically delete all of these windows and insulate everything and make a better shop out of it, and I may do that in the future. But for now, I just realized that camera thing up there has a bird's nest in it. I guess I'm gonna get that out too. Jeez, so I haven't really, last week or so is when I started on this thing, so haven't had a chance to really fully, clean it out and everything. So, but yeah, guys, I'm gonna say that's pretty much it for the heater. It does work, which is good. And then, yeah. Alright guys, I guess that's going to be it for this video. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts and opinions are on this heater. Is there a heater that you guys like? If there's one that you guys can recommend to us, we'd be happy to check it out. And then I guess just, let us know what your general thoughts are on diesel heaters. Do you think they're any good? Maybe a brand is better than another brand. From what I understand, they all kind of use the same components. So I'm not really sure, because we've only really had 2 to check out now. So. But just looked over my shoulder, and it's like 74 degrees in here, which is plenty hot for this thick of a hoodie. I have to get this thing off in a minute. But yeah, so make sure to like, share, subscribe. Make sure to leave a comment. We appreciate everybody who supported us this far. We also appreciate all the love and support from you guys, the comments, the emails. I've had a few suggestions on things. It's been really kind of cool to be able to talk to you guys and meet new people. It's funny because we don't really have that many subscribers, but we've actually out camping have met a few people that watch the channel, so it's kind of cool. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it off there. Appreciate you guys watching, and until the next one, take care.